G from the Catalyst, loudguitars.com. You guys are rocking. Crazy.
So we're here with guys in Catalyst. Mike.
G.
Tail.
And Matt.
Bailey.
Whatever you want to call it.
You guys playing tonight?
Yep.
What do you think? What's going to happen? What's going on?
We're playing with Slaves on Dope, another Montreal band here at the Catacombs, and it's going to get pretty crazy. Full venue almost. I think it's going to sell out, and can't wait to get up there and kill it.
Nice. People are going to get hurt. There will be blood.
Stage might snap.
I saw you guys at Heavy MTL, and we'll say that not too many bands play in between Motorhead and Kiss, and you guys were loud as fuck. Really loud.
Well, when being compared to Motorhead, I take that as a compliment, because they're supposed to be the loudest band in the world. But
Pam was taking pictures and her hair was moving in the pit. All right, Graham, talk to me about guitars. What do we got going on in this band?
Well, right now we just picked up Schecter's sponsorship. Awesome dudes. I'm using, actually, I had to bug them to give me a V because they stopped making the V. I'm a V guy, so I got the Blackjack ATX V1. Floyd Rose, Seymour Duncan Blackouts, awesome guitar, rocking it. Amp-wise, I'm a Marshall guy, but I've been dabbling with Blackstone.
What kind of Marshall?
Wow, take a guess. What do you think? Thrash 800, JCM 800.
I got a 30th anniversary and it does me all right.
I want that too, actually. I want them all. But yeah, I got the Kerry King 2203KK, the KT88's built-in gate. It's a killer amp. My favorite. The amp, which costs like triple as much, but I like less, is the Blackstar Series 1200.
Yeah.
It's super chunky. So I switch in between.
What do you run, Mike?
I'm playing through a Mezzo Boogie rig. I've got the Titan V12. It's like a 1200 watt animal with two Mezzo 410 cabs, a Powerhouse series. And like he said, we're sponsored by Schecter, so I just picked up two Schecter Stiletto Supremes, as well as, and I used to use a Warwick, and I use like a Sans amp in my rig and a couple other little, plus we all use Sennheiser wireless stuff too, another one of our sponsors.
It's all about sponsorship.
Yeah.
How did you guys go ahead and get that Schecter endorsement?
Dumb luck.
Help some people out here.
How did that come to be? You were more part of it than me.
Alright, well basically, it's a lot of hard work, man. Like, we've been gigging religiously, heavily, steadily for a long time. And we did a lot of bigger, we were fortunate enough to have promoters that really believe in us. So we've gotten a lot of like higher profile gigs with bigger bands. And so I guess that paired with everything else and the music itself, obviously, it turned out that these gear companies started taking notice. And that's really what happened.
When you're playing with bigger bands and the bigger bands are watching the show, you know you're doing something right.
It's a success, I guess.
We got a couple guys, especially, I'll give them shout outs because they really gave us a lot of help. Michael Lamont from Arch Enemy is a big supporter of our band. Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, big supporter of the band. Am I missing? Well, I can say my Uncle Frank Marino.
He loves us.
Yeah, he does, actually.
Apparently he can play a little bit.
He can play a little bit of guitar. And there's a bunch of others, you know. Teo actually got us to meet Deep Purple, and that was a trip.
That was pretty awesome.
So yeah, we've had a lot of good experiences, and all these guys that are quite established have all really kind of got behind us. So it's just like that.
You need support, or else you're not gonna. You can be the best player in the world, and if you're playing in your living room, no one's gonna hear you. Right?
It's exposure.
What do you do for vocals to get warmed up for a little bit of leaning?
I use the Zenith Screaming, usually. It's Melissa Cross, she's a vocal teacher. She teaches all the big names, like Randy from Lamb of God, guys from Atreyu, guys from Killswitch Engage, I believe, too. And I do her warm-ups about 10 to 15 minutes long, depending on the one you choose. And it helps survive your voice when you're on tour.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're doing like 10, 12 shows in a row or something, you kind of got to do this so you can hit rock bottom with your voice.
You'll blow it in a hurry.
You'll blow it, yeah.
So guitar warm-ups, do you do anything before you go on?
I do a lot of cocaine. No.
That should help.
Basically, our stuff's, I mean, it's pretty high pace, and I come from the school of Hetfield, so everything is down picking. And actually, grew a muscle on my wrist from it, which is disgusting and freaky. But so yeah, you know, just try to do some basic chromatic stuff, a little pentatonic riffs.
So a little bit of scales and
yeah, a couple scales.
Left hand stuff.
Yeah, right and left.
What are name me some of your influences and why you started playing guitar?
Boy, it's going way back. Well, I actually heard somebody else say this, but it fits me perfectly. I remember being a kid and wanting to do rhythm like I feel solo like Hendrix. So I've always been obviously very pentatonic based in solos. That's what I listen to. I mean, I started integrating some more like diminished stuff later on, but still very based in pentatonic. So yeah, you know, Hendrix. I listen to like Uncle, which is funny how that works out. Who else? I mean, a lot of classic rock stuff. Deep Purple. I can go on and on. ABBA, love ABBA. Yeah, I saw the sign, you know?
So you were more interested in the rhythmic stuff as opposed to lead stuff, or a combo of the two? Like,
well,
give me a ratio here.
Well, I mean, to me, for my 2 cents, you can play an amazing solo and it'll last a minute, but you have to do rhythm for 5 minutes. So to me, it's always been more important to work out the rhythm first and then worry about solos after. It's kind of like icing on the cake. Shit if you don't have the cake with it. So yeah, I mean, I remember in the beginning on other previous bands I was in, it was more based along the rhythmic side of things. But yeah, it's kind of like, you know, I guess like 66-33 now for me.
Are there any guitar players nowadays that you listen to that you say, that fucking guy's pretty good? Or?
Well, it's ridiculous. The level has just gotten higher and higher and higher. I mean, this is Zach Wild. If you hear me play, you're going to see a little bit of that in there. I can't help it, it just happens.
Most people that play any kind of metal with...
My excessive use of pinch harmonics and natural harmonics kind of shows me up for that. I mean, Dime was a big influence of mine. Recent guys, I mean, Jeff Loomis is ridiculous. I can't even touch any of this stuff. Alexi Leo's good. There's so many guys.
But you're naming all these killer lead players. What about the rhythm?
No one strives to be the rhythm guy.
All right.
No, rhythm guys. There's guys at E-Bile are actually really amazing rhythm players. I don't know if you know them. British garage band.
In a non-metal context, I know I'm the bass player, but I'll say this anyway. A new guitarist, a relatively new guitarist that I saw recently that blew my mind was Joe Bonamassa. That was
I missed that one.
Incredible, man. Incredible show. And you know, like, it's good to see a guy our age coming out and like pulling the old school shit with a modern twist. You know what I mean?
He was a prodigy.
Yeah.
He was like 13 when he went to.
I don't know about you guys, but I like a little bit more than just metal, right?
Yeah.
If you only listen to metal, what are you doing to yourself?
Right? I'm just, you know, in terms of newer guitarists that are out there, like, he really to me stands out as like somebody that's really kind of carrying the torch for that kind of playing. You know what I mean? He plays like the guys that don't play. The new breed of guys don't play like that no more.
Kind of like post Eric Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. Lifted over. I remember that concert when I was 4.
Yeah.
Eric
So, drummer dude, talk to me. How'd you hook up with these guys?
Actually, I was in another band prior to this, and I guess we weren't really known, you know, in the local scene or anything like that. It was just kind of like we were really trying, you know, we wrote a whole set of songs and stuff. It just didn't work out, you know, we all had our differences. So I took my leave after a while, you know, I just decided, you know, this isn't for me anymore. So I went to Montreal music scene and I, you know, posted my little thing there, kind of
classified as, man.
Pretty much, man, yeah. Exactly. So just looking online, you know, drummer in search of a band. These are my influences, whatnot. And
what are your influences?
Well, actually, you know, like in terms of listening to music, I consider myself to be pretty well-rounded in terms of, like, you know, my musical repertoire and stuff like that. I'll listen to everything, man. Seriously, like, if I enjoy listening to it, I mean, if I enjoy the song itself, it doesn't matter if it's like, you know, like rap, techno, or whatever.
Don't tell me an influence.
You want an actual influence?
The long-winded tale.
Basically Maiden. I mean, the shirt kind of says it all. Like, I got about 50 shirts at this point.
Cliff or Nico? Clive.
Clive. Yeah, I'd have to say Clive Burr was definitely...
He had a certain feel, eh?
He had a really special feel going on. He was definitely a drummer that could have gone really far had it not been for his MS, you know, unfortunately, like, kind of took its toll. So when Nico got in the band and stuff, I was, you know, that's essentially, like, the first album I ever heard was Number of the Beast, so I thoroughly enjoyed it, and then after that it was just like, just a chain reaction, man. You know, I picked up all their albums. By this point, I've seen them like 14 times, so they're really like my favorite band. But then afterwards, you know, I got into like Sepultura and Fear Factory, and those really started me on the double bass. You know, in terms of drums.
Good drummer bass.
Very, very much so, man. And I consider them to be like revolutionary as well. Today, you know, you can look online, find over 50 drummers that just blow your mind. But if you're a guy that never kind of heard that stuff before, and you just listen to these albums, pop it in, you're like, holy shit.
I grew up cutting my teeth on that stuff. The old Sepultura and Fear Factory. For drums and guitar, rhythm stuff. It's the top of the heap back then, man, for sure.
Definitely.
So, talk to me about like future stuff. What's your plans on recording a new album?
The tunes are all being written right now.
How far are you along?
Got a couple tunes together. We have like a shit ton of riffs, but they're all just kind of sitting there. We're putting them all together now, and the album had been actually the first album had been recorded and came out later on because we were dealing with label stuff and whatever. Anyway, so in that time we managed to get a lot of new stuff written in the interim, you know. So we're putting it all together, and hopefully we're looking to record in spring, summer coming up.
Like, how does the writing process go? Do the string guys get together and work stuff out, or do you bang it out with everyone and see where it goes? Like, how does that come along?
He's the riff guy, full on. He's Mr. Riff. I write some, but he's the guitarist. He writes the bulk of the riffs. I do more of the arrangement stuff, like the piecing the songs together type thing. And he tends to write his stuff well with the aid of a drummer. It's usually him and a drummer that will come up with the preliminary riffs.
Drummer inspires.
Yeah, exactly.
So
him and Tail
throwing out, refuse resist on drums. That's gonna get some shit.
So G and Tail will go in and they'll kind of hammer out a bunch of ideas. Then I'll come in and we'll kind of take them. Okay, now how can we put a song together here? Let's grab this kind of this many bars, do this punch, stop, whatever, blah 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 blah. And then he puts his lovely vocals on at the end. His angelic voice.
Yes.
November 4th, the Catalysts are filming their first video for our single When the Sun Shall Rise. So go on our Facebook page, we got a link up there telling you all the details about it. If you want to come down, we need a crowd. There's like 3 simple rules to follow, and just come on down, kill yourselves for 6 hours, have a damn good time.
What are the rules?
1, wear all black from head to toe. 2, you have to kiss G on the open mouth. No. 2, you gotta be there 6 hours, from 6 p.m. till midnight. Clear your schedule. 3, just lose your minds. No one stands still. If you're gonna stand still, stay at home on your couch.
Open invite.
Yeah, pretty much.